What's going on, PuraTHRIVE Nation? It's Thomas DeLauer, and today I want to talk a little bit about something that's been lurking in your pantry that might be hurting you a lot more than you gave it a lot of thought. Okay? And I'm talking about those Tupperware containers and those plastic containers that are sitting in your pantry. Here's the thing, I'm not trying to ruin your day. I'm not trying to say that you should avoid plastic altogether, but I do want to lay down the law and give you a little bit of science. Here's the thing that's going to startle you the most. We have over 100,000 different chemical compounds that are in plastic containers, okay? And these all leach into our body, all of them, every single one. But here's the scary part. Only 1,500 of these chemical compounds have been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The other over 98,000, we don't even know how they react within our body. So we only have seen the tip of the iceberg when it comes down to knowing how it affects our bodies. So let's start with the one that you probably know the most, good old-fashioned BPA, bisphenol A. Here's the thing with bisphenol A. It's not that bad on the surface, okay? It doesn't really do a lot until it's actually starting to register with our organs. But what it does is it affects our endocrine system in a very, very dramatic way. It's simply known as an endocrine disruptor, and it specifically works on estrogen receptors. And how it does this is by triggering them as either an agonist or an antagonist. Pretty unique, because basically what that means is it can trigger your body to either produce more estrogen or it can trigger your body to produce far less. Both situations are bad. Too little estrogen is just as bad as too much. And when you're a guy, too little estrogen is going to mean no libido. Too much estrogen is going to be very soft and have a lot of belly fat. Whereas for a female, too little estrogen is going to make it so you're unable to get pregnant. You make it so that you're a lot more irritable. You end up having major mood swings. And too much estrogen for a female can cause very, very similar situations and also a lot of water retention. There was even a 2008 review by the National Toxicology Program that found that BPAs had a significant impact on prostate development and function for men and brain development and function for men and women. You see, it has to do with the phenolic compounds in BPAs. These phenolic compounds basically mimic estrogen in a lot of ways. And when you mimic estrogen in sort of an artificial way, you can either satisfy the body's need for estrogen by sort of artificially producing it so your body doesn't produce more, or you can trigger the body to produce more because the cascade of estrogen has already started. So basically, once a little trickle of estrogen starts to go, the body says, okay, it's time to produce more. And that's what ends up happening in the case of bisphenol A, and exactly why we want to avoid it at all costs. To add some credibility to all this, I want to reference a 2015 study that was published in the Journal of Translational Medicine. This study took 76 participants, and these 76 participants, what they wanted to look at was overall the correlation between BPAs in the bloodstream along with obesity and metabolic syndrome symptoms. Well, it was really alarming what they found. All of those that had high levels of BPAs not only had high levels of adipose tissue, which means fat, but they also had extremely high levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines, which is a precursor to inflammation and a precursor to obesity, but also a precursor to just about every single disease state known to man. Now, this doesn't always mean causation. Correlation doesn't mean causation, but the results are still pretty alarming, and they add up with what we've already found before and with what the FDA has already said. It's not just things like BPAs. We've got other compounds. We've got phthalates, okay? Phthalates have essentially been banned altogether with the exception of soda bottles. And here's the reason why. Soda bottles aren't usually warmed up. So the Food and Drug Administration says, okay, these phthalates probably won't leach into your bloodstream simply because you're not warming up the plastic and they're not leaching in. But these phthalates have been shown, by and large, to absolutely obliterate your reproductive system. So for women, they can make it so you have a very difficult time getting pregnant, and for men, they make it so you have no libido, and you can even kill off a lot of the hormones that allow you to quite literally be a man. Next up, we have adipates. Adipates are very, very similar to phthalates, except they have not been evaluated by the FDA. See, in molecular structure, they're extremely similar to those phthalates, but since they haven't been evaluated, they haven't been pulled out of a lot of compounds yet. But studies have shown that they cause extensive liver tumors in mice. So we really have a warning sign right then and there, and that's in just about all plastics. Okay, then we have dioxins. Dioxins, that's in saran wrap. Okay, so whenever you cook something and you put that saran wrap over it and it gets hot and it steams up, you're releasing those dioxins. So here's a quick word to the wise. I'm not saying avoid plastic wrap altogether, but wait for the food to cool before you put the plastic wrap on top of it. If you see steam forming on the plastic wrap or the plastic wrap starts to shrivel, dioxins are being released into your food, and those have serious correlation with all kinds of different cancers. And that's just something we don't want to mess with. So at the end of the day, I'm not trying to ruin your life. I'm just trying to lay down the facts that you can make an educated decision on what plastic containers or glass containers you want to use for yourself and your family. As always, make sure you check out more from PuraTHRIVE. Make sure you check out the new curcumin gold so that you can get the most out of your life by tackling inflammation through ginger, through curcumin, and through good old-fashioned DHA. I'll see you on the next page.